Hello. How is everybody doing today? Today is a very good day. I know I always say that, but I really think that if I choose to have a good day, I can choose to have a good day, no matter what's going on anywhere in the world. Because if the outer world can affect my reality, that means that I don't have my own power. And I want to keep my own power to myself and work from that place. That makes sense. So it's kind of cleared up a little bit. Finally got some sun shining today. Beautiful. I'm going to go outside and take a walk after this. And today, since I did reference the fascial coffee, I thought that I would go over the fascial coffee. Sometimes we need a little pick-me-up. Sometimes our energy's a little bit low. Or even in the morning, we're just having a hard time getting going, a little groggy. So doing a fascial coffee helps to raise your energy. It helps just to kind of center and ground you. And it gives you a way to lift yourself up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our left hand and I'm going to slide it down along the inside of my arm. And then I'm going to flip my hand and I'm going to slide it up the outside of my arm. Okay? Down the inside of my arm, flip up the outside of my arm. And one more time. Inside, outside. I like to do both sides, but you really don't have to do both sides. If you're in a quick pinch, you can just do it on one side and that actually works. So down the inside, out the outside, down the inside, up the outside, down the inside, up the outside. Next, I'm going to lift my arm up into the air and I'm just going to gently brush down, gently, and I like to feel it. Just kind of really just gently feel that. We'll do the opposite side. And it doesn't matter which side you start with. Brush down the outside and down the outside and down the outside and down. Okay? Next, we're going to just take our hands from here and we're going to brush all the way down and then back up the middle. Okay? Just all the way down the front, back up the middle. One more time, down the front and up the middle. Next, we're going to go up the back of the legs and we're going to reach up as far as we can. So we're going to go up, up, and up. Next, we're going to do our digestion. So we're going to go from the right hip, over, up and around, over, up and around, from the right hip to the left hip, up and around. And this is the opposite way of digestion, but it kind of just soothes your digestion and tells it it's okay, it doesn't have to rush through things. So we'll do that like 5 or 6 times, just real gently. And then we're going to take and brush up the neck, 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 up the neck. And then we're gonna do down the chin, down the chin, down the chin. Then we're gonna brush off the shoulders, brush off the shoulders. We're going to go around, around, around. I'm going to do the eyes. I like to just do them both at once. Out. And then we're going to do our cheeks on both sides, like that. Now, my energy is definitely lifted. My body temperature has raised a little bit, which I wasn't really cool. I just wanted a little cover up, but yeah, so now I feel a little more grounded to be able to join you guys. After a fascial coffee, you might feel a little more balanced, a little more energy, a little more grounded. That's what it usually does for me. Next, I'm going to do, hang on, let me take off this ring. If you want to take off anything that constricts you, like watches, or if you have tight necklaces or something like that, rings, that's really a good idea because you're repressurizing different areas of your body. I am going to do some jaw release, okay? Because a lot of times when we wake up, we need to get our energy up, or when we wake up, you know, we may have been gritting our jaw or be frustrated or tense about something. So a jaw release just really helps release this part of the body. I really like to start on my head almost every day. I do a lot of stuff on my head because I have a lot of head trauma. So I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to point it back, and I'm just going to put it into the meaty part of that jaw right there where the mandible kind of comes in by the ear. And I'm going to turn the left hand forward, and I'm just going to twist them, and I'm going to meet them at the middle. Okay? And then I am just going to, first I'm going to go back and forth and breathe in my mouth. Now I'm going to lean up. Now I'm going to squat a little bit and do the same thing as I breathe in and out my nose. And I'm going to stand up and open and close my jaw a couple times. And just release that jaw. Okay. That actually opened up just a tiny bit in my neck. I think next I want to do an anti-gravity. Anti-gravity is a full spinal decompression, and it allows you to just open up the space in between all of your vertebrae so that everything's not so jammed together. You know, people get these like bulging discs and stuff. It's because their muscles are wedging their bones together so tightly that things start to get pushed out. So the spinal decompression can help relieve some of that tension because it eases all that fascia, you know, I say muscles, but fascia, all that, once it wedges down on your spine, it really causes a lot of back problems, a lot of injuries, a lot of, you know, pain. So this is a really great way to just loosen up your back and your spinal area and introduce space into those areas so they're not wedged down, so they're not just compressed in on all the, you know, the little buffer pads and stuff in the middle of there. They call them the discs. Anyway, so we're going to put our hands like this. And I think actually today I'm going to use my hair. But if you want to put it behind your neck and then lift up, that's great. But I'm actually going to grab my hair and twist and pull up with my hands. So, and then we're going to look up to the top. We're going to breathe. And then we're going to look to each direction and breathe. Then we're going to bring our head down, chin to chest, look up under our armpits and breathe, breathe, and go down. Then we'll do a skier squat and do the same thing. And then we'll go into a full squat. So, like I said, I'm going to just twist my hair, get a nice handful, and then I'm going to drop my shoulders. And I'm really pulling up. So I'm pulling the fascia on my neck up. And then I'm going to look back. And I'm going to take 3 staged breaths. Breathe in. Again. Again. Make sure you have your spinal pelvic lock. Make sure you have your shoulders dropped. 1 more staged breath in the mouth. Again. And again. And then just hold it for a second. And now I'm going to do a staged breath in my nose. Hold it. And again. And then as I breathe out, I'm going to bring my elbows together and I'm going to slowly bring my chin to my chest. And from this position, I like to make sure that my knees aren't locked. I like to just have a little bit of flex there. I just make sure I'm balanced. Dropping my shoulders, pulling up on that fascia in the back of your neck. Take a big mouth breath and look under your right armpit. and breathe out, down. Breathe in. Look under your left armpit and breathe out, down. If you want to look up, it gives you a little extra tension on your neck. Breathe up to the right, down. Breathe in to the left. One more to each side. Breathe in to the right. Dropping the shoulders. Make sure your spinal pelvic block's engaged. And one more to the left. Now I'm going to get into a skier squat, and I've got my butt stuck out, okay? I've got my butt stuck out in the skier squat. I'm pulling up, and I'm just going to do the same thing. Breathe in to the right. Breathe in to the left. Try not to let your knees move too much. Drop the shoulders. Breathe in. Down. Breathe in. To the left. And one more time each direction. Breathe in. To the right. And down. Breathe in. To the left. And down. Now I'm going to get into a full squat. And I'm just going to curve my back as much as possible. I'm still applying pressure upwards with my hands. And I am going to just breathe right here. I'm breathing into my ribs so that they get expansion. And I just like to rock back and forth. So breathe in. In the nose, I'll rock forwards and backwards. Just really expanding my lungs. And on the exhale, raise that bum. And we're still hanging our head. I'm still pulling with my hands. And I'm just going to slowly, slowly, slowly come up as I breathe. And I'm increasing the space in the front of my spine. Now I'm going to look up. And then I'm going to let that go. Whew. It can make you lightheaded. It can make you tingly. You may feel different sensations in your body. Just doing that, I can feel that I'm more grounded into the ground. My feet have a little more contact, which is always good for me. I'm in my head a lot. So next, let's do a palate swipe, okay? The palate swipe is one of the three main stress reset moves. And a palate swipe is when you're just putting pressure on the palate of your roof of your mouth, the palate, and then swiping with a lot of pressure from right to left. I have found that mostly I need to do it right to left. Occasionally I've done it the other direction when I very first started, just to loosen up some of that trauma, but it will release in the back of my neck. And that's a really good thing for me. Okay, so first we're going to take our right hand on our left shoulder. We're going to put our right hand up, foot over, left hand on top. And then we're just going to take our thumb from our right hand, because we're in our little fetal position here, touching three parts of our body. And I like to breathe. So I breathe in, and then I breathe out. So sometimes I'll hang out there at the last on that. I like to do it 6 times. That opened up the back of my jaw and my neck a little bit. Yeah, that's fantastic. Now I'm going to follow that up with a vagus nerve reset. The vagus nerve runs from your brain down and innervates your gut and innervates the organs in your gut. And it's one of the things that it can get really out of sync, if you will, when you're anxious. When you're anxious, if you release your vagus nerve, a lot of times it'll introduce calm into your system so that you can deal with the situation that you're in right at that moment from a more, when you're in anxiety, the blood rushes from your head because it's trying to go to these places in your body. So when you're anxious, you don't think as clearly. You secrete hormones and chemicals that just add to the anxiety. I mean, it's a fear-based response. It's like a fight or flight. So, you get anxious and you're not facing a tiger. Why are you spending all that energy and chemistry in your body on that? You don't need to do that. So vagus nerve reset is really good for that. I'm going to take my left hand and this little triangle here between the scapula and the clavicle. There's a little where your trap is. You can just find a tight spot in there. There's several trunks of that nerve. So if you just get in this area and find a tight spot, it can help release that first rib, which the only time you can really feel it is when it's cocked out of place. So if you find a knot, a lump, that might be your first rib cocked out of place, which can cause all kind of neck discomfort, jaw discomfort, that kind of thing too. So, and then I'm going to take my right hand and I'm twisting and I'm pulling down a little bit and I'm going to push away. Okay, I'm going to push this away and then I'm going to move back and forth and breathe. I'm going to squat. I'm going to breathe in my nose. Lean over a little bit. Get a little extra right there. And that just seemed like it lowered my shoulder. Some people wear their shoulders around like earrings. That's not good. Everything gets bunched up inside. That's never good for a person. Okay, so now I'm going to do the left side. Take that right hand. I'm going to find that spot. I always, where my bone is broken right there, I always really torque on it and pull it down. And then I'm going to push away with my left hand. Same thing. I'm going to move back and forth and breathe. I'm going to squat, move it around. Just find those angles that work for your body. Okay. I like to do a couple neck rolls after that because it really loosens and changes things up. I like to do some shoulder shrugs where I really tighten, drop them. Really tighten, drop them. Maybe your shoulder rolls forward, shoulder rolls back, and just really open up that area in there. Another really nice thing to do if you're anxious is do a heart opener, okay? So I am actually going to do it underneath my xiphoid process right here. So this little bone that's right here, I'm gonna grab around on either side of my rib cage, and I'm really gonna. But if you want to pull right here, a lot of times I'll do a heart opener right here. This is more of a lung opener, so this is more of a heart opener. So either way, whichever one you feel like you need, either one it helps. It helps just kind of lower your anxiety level or your tension level. But it also opens up the lungs that when I'm doing it from the xiphoid, because I have impact injury, and when I had broke my collarbone, my xiphoid got shoved up under my rib cage, and it took me a long time to get it out from under there. But that like constricts your lungs, and then I had black mold poisoning, so I had a lot of coughing going on and a lot of weird stuff coming out. So opening up these lungs really has helped me get the rest of that nasty stuff out. So I'm really pulling apart. I'm going to lean forward and lean my chin up. I'm really pulling, and then I'm just going to move back and forth. Squat a little more. lean up a little bit, drop my chin. Move my head around once while I do it. Okay, got some nice cracks out of my neck. A lot of times I get a lot of nice crackles out of my neck when I do the anti-gravity too. Next, I think I want to just do like a thigh release. That's really been helping me with whatever's been tight in my sacral area right here. Your sacrum is that triangle-shaped bone at the bottom of your spine. You know, that triangle-shaped bone that's back here. And I had something pinched in there, I think, and it was giving my toe. My toe was mad. So I think if we do that thigh release, that really helps me. So I'm gonna squat a little bit, and then I'm gonna reach around with my left hand, and I'm gonna reach under, and I'm gonna twist it one way, and then I'm gonna twist it the other way. Okay, see, so out is the way I need to go. Now you find which way is tighter for you. Okay, sometimes they both need to go out, sometimes they both need to go in, sometimes one is one way and some is the other. I don't know what your body's doing, but for me today, I need to pull it out. So I'm reaching way under here, and then I'm just twisting this. I'm really grabbing and twisting. Now I'm going to squat a little more, and I'm just going to push my right hip back, and I'm just going to move around. As I push that right hip back, I'm going to squat a little more. And I have my right hip back because I feel like it's giving me the most pull in my thigh. Now I'm going to unwind that. Oh, that really loosened up that hip. Now I'm going to squat and do the same thing on the right side. So I'm going to squat, I'm going to reach under and twist the leg this way. And then I'm going to try the other way. Okay, see, now this one needs to come in. It was like that the other day too, but every day is a different day. I never know from one day to the next which way is going to need it. So I'm really just twisting the fascia right there as much as I can on that thigh. Now I'm going to squat a little more. Yeah, I'm going to push my left hip back. See, I tested it. I pushed my right hip back and then my left hip back. So, and then I'm going to move back and forth and oh, I got a nice crackle. Maybe squat just a little more, side to side. Okay, now something cracked in this area. So that is really what I was looking for. Some kind of change or shift, movement. Now I'm just going to integrate that just a little bit because it seems to be very powerful for me. I got a really good release yesterday from doing the feet. So I'm going to do the feet again, and then I will probably close out. Okay, so I'm just going to stabilize myself. I mean, if you don't need to stabilize yourself, it's just that sometimes I get a little unsteady. You know, you just want to push down. So I can touch right here. You just want to take your foot, like your right foot, and slide it down on top of your left foot until you find a really nice tight spot. Find a really nice tight spot, and then you can bend your knees. I push my butt out a little bit, and I'm going to push this down a little more. See, my balance is still getting adjusted. Now I'm going to breathe up. If I do a vestibular reset, that'll help my balance a lot. We will do a vestibular reset tomorrow. A little bit more bending. love to do that on my feet. And you can do it on the outside of your foot, which if you're doing it on the outside of your foot, it's easier when you put your thumb on you put your heel on the left side. So if you want to do it that way, you can do it that way. Now I just want to compare. How does one foot feel on the ground compared to the other foot? Now, I feel like I'm making, it's just, it settles into the ground a lot more now. So I really feel like that is helping my feet open up, which is good for flow. It's good if you have some kind of plantar fasciitis trying to come on, just relaxing all those muscles and ligaments in your foot so they're not so constricted. It's a really good thing. So I'm going to take my left foot now. I'm going to slide it down. I'm going to do it the other way with my heel so that I can stay without the chair. See if I can do this. I'm going to bend my knee, right, until I get a really nice stretch. I'm going to keep readjusting that. Oh, there it is right there. Oh, and now I'm going to stretch, bend my knee, and then I'm just going to push down and breathe. I've got my booty sticking out. Bending my knees a little more. Oh, yeah. In the nose. See, I don't get as much pressure as when I do in my mouth. Which makes sense because play around with the breath. I do notice that when I breathe in my mouth, I'm able to drive the pressure in the bottom half more. And when I breathe in my nose, it tends to go in the top half more. But, everybody's different. You might have different results. Let's do a head-heart balance, because that's a nice way to close out every day, is just balance the energy between our head and our heart. Me, if I have way too much energy or I feel all kinds of emotions, I like to ask myself, is it mine? Is this my energy? Because a lot of times I'm so sensitive, I can pick up on the world. I can pick up on all of the angst of the country, which is settling down finally. It's going to be a little bit crazy here for several years actually with the astrology, but I'm not going to let it rock my boat, because I am the master of my world and my attitude is all on me. If I let people make me some way, I've just gave all my power away, and I don't want to do that. So I choose to be balanced in this situation. I choose to have my own power. And so I'm going to breathe in my mouth and just really imagine my heart and my brain connecting. Dropping my shoulders. Relaxing into it. In my nose. Feeling my brain sync up with my heart. And one more. The HeartMath Institute is a wonderful resource for all kinds of studies they've done on heart-brain coherence. And what they found is that when your heart and your brain sync up, your body puts out feel-good chemicals. And it kind of helps to reduce the stress hormones. You get the oxytocin, you get the serotonin, you get the vasopressin, all those good feel-good hormones. So that's what we want to make in our bodies so that we can relax and enjoy our lives and our bodies can heal. Because if all of our energy is in some kind of fight or flight response, our body doesn't have energy for healing. It's too busy looking for the tiger, And most people are not going to eat me. They're not going to smack me, hit me, do anything to me. If I have a response to somebody, it's usually because they're showing me a mirror of what I need to look at in myself. And so once I figure that out, and I just know everything happens the way it is every single day, no matter how uncomfortable I am or anybody else is with it, everything always happens the way it's supposed to. You guys have a really good night. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will be back tomorrow.